Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nityalila Purushottam Vishwapad Purush Puri Rajagacharya Ashtottara Shuddha Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ शांत राधा गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री श्री वृंदावन धाम की श्री श्री मथुरा धाम की जय श्री श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगामयी की जय जमुनामयी की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय Transcendental book distribution की जय Om Premanande all glories to the assembled ones all glories to the assembled ones all glories to the assembled ones all glories to Siguru and Gaura
Hare Krishna! I heard 3 Prabhus, one Mataji saying it, so we'll try this again so I can hear everybody. Hare Krishna! Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai! Welcome everybody to our Sunday Feast program. Bienvenue à tous au festin du dimanche. On aimerait remercier notre commanditaire, our sponsors for tonight. I would like to thank our Eugene Prabhu and Tattva Mataji, so please give them a round of applause. A few announcements. As you know, the year has started. We have our billboard ready, but I'm sure Prabhu will work very hard to finalize it. So now it is up and set on the wall. So by all means, please, you're more than welcome to come and sponsor a Sunday feast of your choice, a Raj Bhoga of your choice throughout the year. There are so many days in the year, and festivals you'll have to check, because festivals are usually the first ones that devotees like to book. But of course, you have a whole year in front of you, so please take that advantage. See Senior Prabhu or Madam Kishore Prabhu, leave your name, and they can give you more information on how you would like to sponsor, how you want to sponsor a feast, festival, or a day of the week. Alors bien sûr, juste pour rappeler que vous avez l'année pour commencer le festin. Le pavillon est finalement sur le mur. Alors, si jamais vous êtes intéressé à voir quel jour est disponible, quel jour vous intéresse pour commanditer, vous êtes la bienvenue à commanditer un festin le dimanche ou même une journée dans la semaine. Les festivals sont d'habitude commandités en avance, mais on pourrait avoir une journée qui vous plaît, un festival qui vous plaît, que vous aimeriez commanditer. Alors, s'il vous plaît, juste voir Seigneur Prabhu ou Madame Kishore Prabhu et donner vos informations. Ils doivent vous donner plus d'informations pour commanditer un festin. So there is an announcement I want to make, but I don't see Mother India, so I'm not sure where she is. She just left. Can we bring her back? Please, if possible. She's probably going to hear me in the hallway, so I wanted to make sure we could have her here for that, and then we shall continue. So waiting for her to make an appearance. But while she makes her appearance, we do want to inform everybody that there is an Ekadashi coming up on January 25th, so this coming Saturday. January 25th is Ekadashi, so you're more than welcome to fast from all types of grains and beans. Come see the Lord on this beautiful, auspicious day, and then break your fast on Sunday. Come to Sunday Feast, of course, on January 26th. Alors, ce samedi, c'est Ekadashi, et on invite tous ceux qui veulent jeûner de toute forme de grain, vous pouvez le faire. Alors, le 25 janvier, samedi, c'est Ekadashi, et ensuite, le 26, vous pouvez briser votre jeûne en voyant le Seigneur. So, tomorrow is a very auspicious day, January 20th. On this day, we're doing it in advance just because I am not here next week. And I want to make sure that I give her a special appreciation post. So, it is Mother Media's birthday tomorrow, January 20th. And she is a senior Srila Prabhupada disciple. We are very fortunate to have her in our movement for more than. She has been here in Montreal since she was in her early 20s, I believe, and we've heard so many stories. So since then till now, she has been with us serving Srila Prabhupada, serving her beloved Lordship. She is a spiritual master to me and so many youths. We look up to you with so much respect and awe. You inspire so many of us, and it is only fair. And this is like the smallest thing that I can do, but give you a token of our appreciation. So we love you immensely. You have done so much, dedicated your whole life to Srila Prabhupada, and we are so fortunate. We learn from you every single day, and we pray that Srila Prabhupada, Radha Manohar, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Purnitai, Madam Mohan can always keep you in their shelter, that they can keep you with us for many more years to come. So in honor of tomorrow, we wish you a very happy birthday, Mother Media, and thank you so much for everything. If you have not spoken to her, I would highly recommend take her association. She is a gem of wisdom. She has so much to share, so much knowledge to share. We are able to do what we do here because of her. She has raised us since practically our birth, and she means the world to me, my sister, and all our roots. So thank you once again for taking us under your wing, and we owe you our life. So happy birthday in advance, Mother Media. So please give her another round of applause. Merci c'est une dévote très très chère à Srila Prabhupada, au Seigneur, et même bien sûr à ce merveilleux temple. C'est un disciple de Srila Prabhupada, un des plus grands disciples de Srila Prabhupada. Il a rejoint ici à Montréal. Alors on est vraiment fortunés de l'avoir avec nous, donner sa vie pour le mouvement. On a plein d'anecdotes, moi et ma soeur, on a dit, mais les jeunes aussi, on a plein d'anecdotes de sa vie en grandissant dans le mouvement. Alors demain c'est son anniversaire, et puisqu'on est là la semaine prochaine, moi et ma soeur, on voulait lui souhaiter un anniversaire en avance. Et on est vraiment fortunés et contente, grateful, what is the word? Grateful in French, but en tout cas, de l'avoir aussi avec nous et on espère, on prie à Srila Prabhupada et à l'honneur qu'il le garde avec nous pour plusieurs années à venir. Alors, on a juste chanté le Mahamantra. We'd like to chant the Mahamantra for the benefit of such an amazing pure soul. So, all together, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bon anniversaire, bon media. Happy birthday once again. We wish you all the happiness in the world, of course. So, moving on. Of course, that's all I have for you tonight. Tonight's English class will be given by dear Kanta Guru, et la classe en français sera donnée par sa grâce Lakshmana Guru. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki!
Hare Krishna, everyone. It's also Gaura's birthday tomorrow, so let's all chant. Let's all chant the Mahamantra for Gauri as well. She's done so much for this temple, and she continues to do so. And she's inspired me so much, and I'm sure that she's inspired so many of us. And just thank you for being here, Gauri. We're really grateful. And let's all chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I really hope that Radha Manohar will keep you in their shelter forever.
Anyway, I'm grateful, forever grateful that this is where I grew up and forever indebted to your lordships in Srila Prabhupada, and just thanks to all of you. I pray that I can always continue to serve you in Srila Prabhupada. So on that note, hope you have a beautiful evening tonight. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Om 35. Chapter 13, text 35. It's the last text. So in this chapter, Krishna speaks about the difference of our body and our soul. This is the first question and knowledge we have to realize when we come to spiritual practice and spiritual life. So this is the first realization that we should attain, understanding that we are not this body. So this is a key text. Ksheka ksheka gyayorivam anarana chakshusha mahapratiti mokshancha viyanti te Translation and purport by His Divine Graces of the Lord Son Prabhupada. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage and material nature, attain to supreme goal. I will read it again. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage and material nature, attain to the supreme goal. Purport. The purport of this 13th chapter is that one should know the distinction between the body, the owner of the body, and the super soul. The body, the owner of the body, and the super soul. One should recognize the process of liberation as described in verses 8 through 12. Then one can go on to the supreme destination. A faithful person should at first have some good association to hear God, and thus gradually become enlightened. If one accepts a spiritual master, one can learn to distinguish between matter and spirit, and that becomes the stepping stone for further spiritual realization. The spiritual master, by various instructions, teaches his students to get free from the material concept of life. For instance, in Bhagavad Gita, you find Krishna instructing Arjuna to free him from materialistic considerations. One can understand that his body is matter. It can be analyzed with its 24 elements. The body is gross manifestation, and the subtle manifestation is the mind and psychological effects. And the symptoms of life are the introduction of these features. But over and above this, there is the soul, and there is also the super soul. The soul and the super soul are two. This material world is working by the conjunction of the soul and the 24 material elements. One can see the constitution of the whole material manifestation and this combination of the soul and material elements, and can also see the situation of the Supreme Soul, becomes eligible for transfer to the spiritual world. These things are meant for contemplation and for realization, and one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with help of the spiritual master. So this is the end of this chapter. And again, Hare Krishna, Krishna is called kshetra. So kshetra is a field of activities. So since the time we attain this desire in our heart to experience this material life separate from Krishna, Krishna gave us first body that we received was the body of Brahma, a supreme creature. So it was perfect body, perfect material body. We all received it like that. We don't remember it. So we remember our past lives. And some of us may remember, but generally we don't, because there's no value in our past lives. Usually the total amount of life is not very high. It is that person at average prays throughout his life just few hours. Throughout the whole life, a person prays at average few hours. So for us, Prabhupada gave this practice speech, and every day for 2 hours. So this intense practice allows us to, like a rocket booster, we can feel sometimes that after chanting, we can experience that as if we lived few lives or like a week has passed after really chanting, because the total amount of karma burned during the chanting is actually, it's a lot, because we may not see that, but just the practice of chanting allows us to experience how we get purified. So maybe it's a bit so advanced. Are you familiar with japa? Okay, so I hope everyone's practicing japa and chanting on these Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There's good effects straight ahead describing it. So the amount of our spiritual practice in 2 hours of japa is it's a lot. So Prabhupada gave us this safe practice to direct our life towards this supreme goal, as it is described in this verse. So what is our supreme goal? We can ask. Maybe, I don't know if we ask this question ourselves. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing the person who is asking that question, what is the point of my life? It's already a big question. If we start asking ourselves what should we do with our life, that's already a stimulus for us to start discovering spirituality. With time, with Krishna starts revealing us what is the purpose of our life. And actually, whole Bhagavad Gita is revealing how Krishna reveals what is the purpose of our life. But first of all, who are us? And the first point is that we are not this body. And Krishna explains how he gives us body depending on our desires. So our first desire when we came to this material world was to be separate from Krishna. That desire is called aham. So aham means I am. Once we think I am, it equals I am separate from Krishna already. So that's, I identify myself as ego separated from God. This is the first desire we receive. Second desire is called mameti. Mameti means I want to possess something. I start believing that this is mine, that is mine, this is my body, this is my country, this is my family. It's called geographical sentiment. Geographical means I was born in this place, this country, in this race, color of skin, everything. So it's a geo sentiment. And one of the purposes of our spiritual practice is to overcome this sentiment. We should stop, I would say, we have to learn to re-identify ourselves. We have to transgress our limited consciousness as this body. So one of the first steps is to realize that we are not this body. Prabhupada says, Well, when children are saying, this is my hand, or this is my head, they are not saying, I am hand, I am head. So it's a very simple concept to understand that this is not me. So that's the first point, realize that we are residing in this body, and Krishna explains to Arjuna here that body is called kshetra, so that's the field. It's translated as field of activities. So Prabhupada gives a good analogy how agricultural field, around 100 years ago, every family had its own land, so they could cultivate own food and not depend on economy. So nowadays, I guess some of us may not even imagine what is that to have our own land. My grandparents, they used to have land. They really didn't depend on economies. Actually, they followed Varnashrama in the sense that Prabhupada gives example that in India, villagers, they come to the city to work for some time to acquire some amount of money to purchase land and go back and never return to the city. So this way they secure themselves safe life. So the main question of food will be solved. So this is ideal process that Prabhupada wanted us to have our own land and not depend on economics. In this class he also gave a good insight about AI. You may ask how AI is related, like Prabhupada never said anything about it. Actually he did. Someone asked, should we learn technology or develop technology? And Prabhupada said, we don't need technology. And he gave a good example what happens when we replace manual labor with automation, machines and everything. He's saying, if say a machine substitutes 100 persons working, then these 100 persons, they should find themselves some activity, some engagement. And he's saying because people are not working, that produces unemployment is the, what's it called? Forge of devil. Like lazy mind, or idle mind is a forge of devil. So it's a workshop of devil, yeah. So it leads to employment in all nonsensical activities, mainly eating, overeating, sleeping, illicit sex, and intoxication. So there is no good analogy. Prabhupada is saying it's better to keep this 100 of people employed. And he even gives a reference to Bhagavad Gita shloka where Krishna explains it's better to better to do something. I forgot, I think it's 13.2 or something. Work without profit is better than no work. So Prabhupada gives this example, and now AI can replace so many people, thousands. And Prabhupada also gives a nice example how sometimes people are looking for an employer and they are ready to work for food. They don't even need salary. And if they find a good employer, then of course the employer will be feeding them, and with the time will say, okay, you're working nicely, so the employer will provide some salary, and eventually there's a means to like a simple career. So so that's interesting that how can we find activity for ourselves, for our body. And then here Krishna explains that this body is our field. Everyone has gotten this field. And we can cultivate it in one way or another. We can choose how we use it, what's our goal, how we cultivate it, what's our activities. For example, knowledge about gunas can help us understand what's the direction we are moving. For example, I know you're familiar with gunas, right? sattva, it's goodness, raja guna, it's passion, and ignorance, it's tama guna. So these gunas, they define for us the direction where we will be developing our body. So Krishna explains in a few verses, actually, Bhagavad Gita 14:18 or 9:25, that if we act on the platform of sattva guna, then we elevate ourselves to higher planes. So we attain the planes of demigods. So, or like more pure life, cleaner life, more satisfied life. That's sattva guna. If we practice it, we elevate ourselves. So it's one of the directions where we can forward our efforts. The other direction is the passion guna. We can believe, identify ourselves with our current body, believe in our nation, in our country, in our, I don't know, any sorts of specialty, like this and that. So that binds us to current level. So we remain on the level of this earth. So we don't go high, we don't fall in animal levels. We remain on the same platform, like on earthly plane. So essentially, after this life, we will get the same or similar body. So Krishna is saying that our activities, they define what sort of body we will receive in our next life. So depending on our lifestyle and our desires and our mindset now, we will receive that or the other form of body. So it's our responsibility and our choice at every moment. So that defines our future. There's also a third kind, is tamaguna, when we don't take any responsibility for our future, for ourselves. We allow ourselves to break principles, to engage in all sorts of simple activities. Then gradually with time, we develop this desire for animalistic, like desire of animal. So in other words, someone wants to be very powerful or very aggressive or kill others, and in next life that person can receive the body of a tiger. For Krishna it's not a problem to, since the desire and heart is manifested so strongly, Krishna can give that body. And Prabhupada gives example that even hog, if someone likes all this abominable eating stool and everything, that person will receive a body of a hog. So, and our current position can also be seen as a symptom of our sins that we have committed throughout time, since we were Brahman, because first body that we received was perfect body of Brahman, so it's the perfect material body. And with time, due to our sinful desires, we came down to this our current state. Still, a human form of body, it's a great chance, it's a great opportunity to develop higher consciousness. So we always have this choice, what should we practice? And Prabhupada gave us this supreme practice of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is actually opposite of material consciousness, because material consciousness is, again, two definitions: aham, mameti. Aham, I'm separate from God. Mameti, I own this, on that, so some things belong to me. Krishna consciousness is understanding that I'm not separated from God. I'm his part and article, and mameti, the opposite of that would be everything belongs to Krishna, nothing is mine. And here Krishna gives another insight that there is actually two owners of our body. First is us. Krishna gave us his body, but There's also second owner, who's the actual owner. The analogy is given like landlord and tenant. So landlord actually owns the land, the kshetra, and tenant, or person who resides in there, is a temporary. Another analogy is given like in a hotel. We may live in an hotel room and we can be very attached to that space, we may like it a lot, but actually it's temporary, and we should remember that this body is temporary, it's given us for some time, for some reason, it belongs to Krishna. Why he's the real owner? Because he provided all the elements that constitute our body. So we cannot produce anything. We don't even know how it works. More to that, illnesses, we don't even know how they work. They are not under our control. There's 3 kinds of suffering that come with this body. It's Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, and Adi Atmika. Adi Atmika is something created by our mind and body itself. Adi Daivika is anything created by devas, so it's sufferings coming from the sky, all these cataclysms, bad weather, or now it's snowing, right? It's Adi Daivika. So we have to experience, because we are in this body, we have to experience this sort of suffering. Because we have to struggle for that. And Adi Bhautika, it's suffering that comes to us from another living beings. For example, insects, they bite us, or we have conflicts, that's also so these 3 kinds of sufferings are coming with our body. And the thing is that the practice that Prabhupada gave us, since it increases per sattva guna, so we raise to the stage of goodness, statistically shows that it improves our health. Our sufferings get reduced. So I think it was Friday on the Spiritual Connect, someone was sharing this story that after she started chanting Mahamantra, her stress and actually allergies went left her. So it just shows how our illnesses are connected to our consciousness. So by elevating our consciousness, I know that some Christians, they believe in practice that all illnesses are coming as a lesson, as a they are pointing at some defect in our heart. For example, many kinds of cancer are coming from conflicts with close people, close to us people. Many of these sufferings are connected to our mental state, and our pure mental state will be a state of Krishna consciousness when we don't separate ourselves from Krishna. And this is the practice that we have. We are trying to remember that Krishna is our most dear friend, and that we belong to him, and some devotees think he belongs to them, but it's very advanced stage. And Bhakti Rasamrita Singh describes that our life, our material life, is like the life of a person in a state of coma. If a person was bitten by a snake, he is in a coma. He is out of consciousness, and he cannot do it. So our position is like that. We are bitten by a snake, and we don't see things as they are. Our hearts are cold. And what brings a person out of coma? From stories we can learn that many people are returning back from coma through some loving signal. So someone's coming to the hospital to see them, a person they love or their children. They say something nice, and that can have an effect, so that brings person back to earth. So for us, practice is essentially the same. Prabhupada is saying for a person bitten by a snake, A cure is a sound of flute. It's like snake chanting. You can play a flute and then can shake the person. And for us, it's Mahamantra, the loving memory of Krishna, loving memory of our eternal relations. And we may ask, someone may ask, I don't feel anything when I chant Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. We feel it, but someone doesn't. Or maybe in the beginning we also don't feel it, so our hearts are cold. It's a signal of some offenses that we hold in our heart, but Prabhupada gives an analogy. It's like a person sick with jaundice. In the beginning, the cure for that sickness is taking sweets, because jaundice is there's a bitter taste. So to cure it, a person should take sweets, and the sweeter something is, the better for the person. But the person feels it as something very, very bitter. It's very unpleasant. So Prabhupada decided that we should keep chanting. If we feel something hard, we should keep chanting. And with the time, we can see that our heart melts. It is described that advanced devotees, they have their hearts like a liquid. They're very flowing. So our practice should be like that. Our hearts, they gradually melt from the state of ice to. There's another analogy given, like a metal. If you heat it, then it gradually becomes like fire. It receives the qualities of fire. So if you have a metallic rod and you heat it, so if it's high temperature, you can touch a paper and it will create fire. There's even a technique, it's called reverse forging. They take a rod and they just start hammering it. They hammer it so much that this rod becomes red. It gets so high temperature that then they touch a piece of paper and it creates fire. So it's interesting. So our practice of japa is essentially a reverse forging. We hammer our mind. But Vaisnava Saraswati was saying, every morning I'm hitting my mind with slipper, because in other words, training is to be focused on holy name. There's bhajans that I sing. Bhajan Mata, Shinanda Nanda. So please, my mind, be focused on the son of Nand Maharaj. So that's what one of the main practices, aspects of our practice is controlling our mind. Controlling doesn't mean forcing or punishing it. Controlling means showing that higher taste. Prabhupada said, he asked, why are we here? We are here to enjoy, but to find a higher taste. So, focusing our mind on holy names, it helps us to discover the higher taste and actually discover our original identity as a servant of Krishna. So that's our original position as us, as soul, and that's the only place where we can find happiness. So that's it. Anyone has something to say?
Aber vor der Kunde. Sondern